Good night, honey. Oh, here comes another one. His eye is bulging. He was frothing at the mouth.
Wonder who is the most famous blonde in American history? You guessed it right, that's Marilyn Monroe. Our story today starts in Los Angeles, California, where a beautiful girl named Norma Jean Mortensen was born on June 1st, 1926. Yes, neither Marilyn nor Monroe were her real names. Monroe was a stage name picked by an American film actor and studio executive, Ben Lyon, and the surname Marilyn was Monroe's mother's maiden name. Monroe was born to Charles Stanley Gifford and Gladys Pearl Baker. Monroe's childhood was quite tragic since she spent it in various orphanages and foster homes and was even sexually abused. Her difficult childhood resulted in an early marriage at the age of 16 to James Dougherty, her first husband, to prevent her from returning to the orphanage. In 1944, Monroe began a job at the Radioplane Company, an American aviation company. During the same year, she met photographer David Conover, who had been assigned to capture uplifting images of female workers at the factory. The photographs captured of her went unused. However, Monroe quit her factory job in 1945 and commenced modeling for Conover and his associates. She also signed a contract with Blue Book Model Agency in August later that year. Blue Book Model Agency saw Monroe unsuitable for high fashion modeling, and therefore she appeared mostly in advertisements and men's magazines. Monroe's iconic blonde look derives from her desire at the time to ensure her employment. Therefore, she straightened her hair and dyed it blonde. As a model, Monroe often used the pseudonym Jean Norman, a mix of her real name. In 1946, Monroe signed a contract with an acting agency for the first time. It was 20th Century Fox. For the next several years, Monroe incorporated both acting and modeling into her career, although many viewed her as an unsuccessful actress. Between 1949 and 1952, Monroe slowly became more known in the acting world, appearing in more and more movies. In 1952, she was even named the best young box office personality by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Around this time, Marilyn revealed her not-so-perfect side. She was repeatedly blamed for being too hard to work with, being late, missing rehearsals, forgetting her lines, and heavily depending on her acting coaches. In order to deal with her growing anxiety and chronic insomnia, Marilyn began to take barbiturates, amphetamines, and alcohol, which worsened her condition and later led to a severe addiction. In 1953, Marilyn appeared in various movies, for example, Niagara, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, and How to Marry a Millionaire. She also became the first Playboy centerfold and later explained her nude photos in the magazine as a desperate need for money. In 1954, Marilyn was suspended by 20th Century Fox when she refused to begin shooting a musical comedy. Her refusal was based on the claim that Monroe was paid significantly less than other stars and didn't get serious roles. The same year, Monroe married Joe DiMaggio, a baseball player for the Yankees, whom she divorced only 9 months later. Monroe spent 1955 taking acting classes, and at the end of the year, she signed a new contract with 20th Century Fox, which included better pay and the freedom to choose her projects, directors, and cinematographers. A year later, in 1956, Monroe legally changed her name to Marilyn Monroe and married Arthur Miller, an American playwright. Since Miller was Jewish, Monroe decided to convert to Judaism. However, Miller was not the only cause for her conversion. In fact, even after their divorce in 1961, Monroe preserved her Jewish identity, describing herself as a Jewish atheist. The last years of her life saw a serious decline in her career. The 1960 movie Let's Make Love and the 1961 movie The Misfits resulted in low box offices, which brought great disappointment. In 1962, Monroe was fired by 20th Century Fox Studios and sued for $750,000 in damages. This happened because Monroe took time off due to an illness, and Fox Studios simply couldn't risk having another movie delayed, especially since they were already having a hard time covering the increasing costs of Cleopatra. During the same year, Monroe participated in different publicity efforts to boost her public image. This included giving interviews for magazines like Life and Cosmopolitan and having her first photo shoot for Vogue. On the 4th of August 1962, when Monroe was only 36 years old, she was found dead in her home in Los Angeles. The toxicology report revealed that the cause of her death was a barbiturate overdose. Her death was very controversial, with many claiming it was a suicide and others stating it was an accidental overdose due to her worsening mental health. Either way, Monroe will always remain one of the most influential women in history and an iconic star. Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. See you next time.